I'm sorry, repeat the question. It's not coming
I'm sorry,
through.
Sam. Why shouldn't have the Palestinians have gone to Bahrain? Why shouldn't they go?
It's very clear to us for several reasons. First and foremost, this is not the first step in the deal of the century. This is step number 10. The Trump administration has acted on a political program ever since they took office, and now comes step number 10 of an economic workshop pretending to be in isolation of a political process. Secondly, this economic workshop ignores historical context par excellence. We did economy before politics for 25 years. That was called the Oslo Peace Accords. It failed. It failed multiple times. And ultimately, another reason not to go is we weren't invited. The political agency of the Palestinians was not invited, and development is actually a human right. We are not abandoning that right. Nobody, not Kushner, not Trump, not the United States of America, and definitely not Israel, have the right to plan our future. This is an ordeal of self-determination, and if we are not planning our own future, people can talk about it until they're blue in the face. But not inviting the Palestinians properly is rather sad. In terms of the five Palestinian business persons that actually went to this workshop, this is not out of the ordinary. We have our Uncle Toms and our Quislings like any other community. But the proper Palestinian private sector, the one that has put millions of dollars in investments over the last 25 years, actually were very articulate in issuing a statement. They actually issued a statement before the Palestinian Authority saying that we are not going because we know better. We cannot continue to invest without a political horizon and to know the political parameters.
Sam,
and without statehood, there is no political parameter that will work.
Sam, I want to bring in our other guest. Danny, you were involved in the Oslo Peace Accords. Is Sam correct when he said we already did this? We already put economics first? Is that how you would characterize the Oslo Peace Accords?
Well, good evening from Jerusalem. Yes, we tried. The Oslo process is a whole budget. It starts with political issues and then it ends with the economical issues. The economical issues weren't on the front, and that's a change, or this is the change that the Americans are trying to bring now. I agree with our Palestinian colleague that the Palestinian Authority and the Palestinian people have to take responsibility for their own life and to design the horizon, but they are not doing it. All these 25 years, they didn't do any new plan. And this plan that the American administration brings to us is a new horizon for the people in the West Bank and Gaza and in the region around us. And I believe that this project, and I looked all over the 176 projects, they are not dealing with Israel. They are dealing with the Palestinian people. They increase the life of the Palestinians in the day-to-day life, in the way that they educate their people, in the way that they are giving more power and more infrastructure that people can have better life.
Yes. Gentlemen, Jared Kushner has just now made comments wrapping up the Bahrain workshop. Let's just take a quick listen.
Overall consensus is that this is a very executable plan if we're able to get a political solution and if we have the right governance structure in place. There is so much thirst and excitement about investing in the West Bank and Gaza and Jordan and Egypt from the global community if we can create the right conditions for that to happen.
Sam, I'd just like to get you to respond to what we just heard from Jared Kushner. Obviously, they are optimistic that something good has come out of this conference.
The only thing I can think that would give him optimism is not knowing the facts on the ground. We feel that we are living in a crime zone. This is a crime scene. Our economy has been raped for the last 52 years while the U.S. stood at the door watching. And now Kushner from the U.S. wants to come and tell us, stop. Let's go for a pizza and discuss about buying some artwork to hang on the walls before we continue. That won't work. We're not interested in beautifying the cages that Israel has created for us. Either this occupation ends and a Palestinian state emerges, or there is no deal. Right. It's that simple.
Right. Danny, I want you to respond. Do you feel Israel's been raping the Palestinian economy for a half century, as Sam has said?
Not at all. I was last week at Beth El, at the Civil Administration Agriculture Officer. He told me about 200 projects that we're trying to help Palestinian people to improve the agriculture in the West Bank. The Palestinian Authority don't want to cooperate with us. So we have to do it directly with the people in the ground, because the Palestinian Authority believes that if people will have better life, they won't take part in the struggle against the occupation. And I think that this is only an excuse that the Palestinians are using not to improve the life of the people in the streets. The leaders don't take responsibility. They blame everything on Israel in everything, and that's the wrong thing to do. You have to take your own life and do something with your with your life, and you can do it. Israel all the time wants to have a better life for the people, and Israel investing money, and we are trying to help the people. I'm not talking about the politics issues. I'm talking about the day-to-day life of the people in the West Bank. In Gaza Strip, we don't have connections these times, but also every day, hundreds of trucks are coming and supplying everything to Gaza from Israel. It's not that Israel is harming the Palestinian people. Israel wants to improve the life of the people in the Gaza Strip, but the Palestinian Authority don't let us to do it.
Sam, I want to pick up on a point that Jared Kushner said about proper governance. I mean, the Palestinian Authority, we've seen rampant corruption there. We've seen money invested gone to waste. Isn't at least that aspect worth addressing?
Absolutely, yes, and we're addressing it. I happen to be a co-founder of an Academy for Integrity in Palestine. We're working on this issue the hard way, not with fanfare of workshops. Yes, there are issues in governance here, and luckily we had the president of Palestine announce in January, I believe, that there will be elections in 6 months. We were working the hard work to get to elections to renew our leadership. Then came Kushner and proposed this workshop, which basically allowed the Palestinian Authority not only to kick governance down the road, but also to recycle itself. This happens every time the U.S. fumbles in the Middle East, as they did in Oslo several times and as they're doing now. They are giving more energy and more legitimacy to a governing body in Palestine that we are trying to renew. But regardless of our governing body, that's our internal issue, and we're dealing with it. Nobody has the right to use internal Palestinian politics for a reason to allow this military occupation to continue for one more day. Talking about governance coming from the United States is laughable.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much, Sam Bahour and retired General Dr. Danny Tirza. Very interesting, both of your analysis. Thanks for joining us.